Can you hear me now?
Are we live?
We had to reset everything. Things crashed. Can you hear us?
Like, oh, we can start it. Commercial.
Okay. Can anybody hear us? So it is working. Okay. So now my phone went to the. Did yours?
Viva la respuesta siempre sí, porque con el boleto más flexible de México, sí puedes adelantar tu vuelo, cambiar la fecha con...
Ah,
Stupid commercials. Hello, Stray Bullet. Okay, who's all here?
I mean,
Everybody.
Yeah. Let me see. From the very
Let's just
beginning,
cover. Hello, everybody. We just fixed the problem.
Mike N, Wendy English, Firefly, Dan E-Boy, CC the Burlock,
Okay.
Steven Andrews.
Hello, Stephen Andrews. Dan says we are live, and Stray Bullet sees a tornado. No, he sees a tornado. There's a tornado on the screen.
I see Pete's Custom, Buddy Carpano,
Hello, Pete.
Faith Bernard. I don't have it on Top Chat, so I'm not seeing.
Hello, Faith.
I'm not saying Stray Bullets, but I can see him. Stray
Bullet
Bullet.
is there. Yeah.
And I believe that's it. If I missed someone, please say hello.
Oh boy. There's no guarantee we're gonna stay on because it says it's gonna get worse over the next 4 hours. So we don't know yet.
What?
You have it off.
Why is it off?
I don't know. Here, give me this. Always one over here.
You're supposed to pay attention.
Got one.
Okay. Stray Bullet says, do you remember those tornado convertibles?
Tornado convertibles?
It says
Yeah, they were custom made.
That says 1970 Tornado GT with exclusive 400 horse, 455 engine.
That was not my favorite look of the Tornado. The 68? Yeah, 68 and 69 had the covered headlights. The whole grill came down, went up. Even that wasn't my favorite, even though it had covered headlights. But when they exposed the headlights in 70, that was even worse. I don't care what engine's under the hood. Hello, Braden.
Stray Bullet is chain drive. Oh, hi, Braden.
Yes, chain drive in the transmission.
Rafa says shows up on radar at 2 knots, 5 feet altitude.
We're talking about airplanes.
Yeah, Dan says, what the fuck is a shift knob? Stray Bullet says chain drive 10.
You have to be more specific, Dan, in which vehicle. I'm looking at the chat. I had my share of front-wheel drive Eldorados and one Toronado, which I never drove because I never bothered getting it running. I just bought it and put it in the storage yard. Exactly the same as Jay Leno's, the gold 66 Toronado.
That says DH425 in the Toro, DH400 in the TK's chain. Braden says, I had an A and W for supper. A and W?
That's probably a hamburger. A&W root beer has root beers have stands like a drive-in. You can go get food.
Cop Car Steve says, hola, mi amigo, ¿qué pasó?
Hey, Cop Car Steve. Congratulations on your 500 subs. Too bad you can't race your car. You can't get it there.
Faith says, I was outside watering Braden's plants that day, and I almost got blown away, so I ran back into the house that day.
It's not Well, sorry to hear that, Faith, but it's not blowing that hard here yet. It says it's going to get worse over the next 4 hours. So we're just crossing our fingers to see how long this lasts.
I was telling Mr. Spec that we should get some data on the phone and do a live outside, just showing the wind go by and stuff. Not that you can see the wind, but anyway. But he decided against it.
No, we don't need to do that. There'd be so much noise; they'd never hear us.
Raffles says, TH425. Haven't heard that one in a while. Pete says, Dan looks like a golf club end.
Yeah, somebody put something custom in there for them.
Kim Passable is here.
Hello, Kim.
And they say, I got a PetSmart and a Simply Mills advert as my pre-roll. Hi, everyone.
Oh, okay. PetSmart. I wonder why.
Dan
Is
says,
it for you guys or because we were talking about dogs and cats yesterday?
Dan says to Pete, like I would. Pete says, yes. Papa Steve says, thanks, my friend. Thanks, my friend. My son's wedding is on October 3rd, so I'm looking at 2027 for the NNN.
So you're not going this year?
Faye says, be careful, Mexican, and when it's storming out.
Oh yeah, I know. We were outside one time before, and the wind started blowing, and I had a bunch of stuff on top of my Impala, and something flew off and hit me in the head, and I just had to get out of there, let the stuff just go wherever it's going. I came in the house and stopped the bleeding.
Yeah, I was yelling at him to get inside, and he's like, but I have to put the stuff away. I was like, well, you should have done that earlier. Like, no, just get inside, something's gonna hit you, and that's what happened.
Dan says, I like the Chevelle. It does. Somebody did some work on it, and they're really proud of that V8 emblem over the side marker light because it is a 350 in there.
Believe is here.
Hey, Believe.
And he's passing list. Is that what you call it? Did I say correctly?
I don't know.
Está pasando lista de la gente que está aquí.
Could be.
Quien says, I don't even have pets, but who knows?
It's in the system somewhere.
Popcar says, no, not this year. I'm going to either take a police crime Victoria or a police Dodge Charger and drive from Canada.
Oh, that'll be a nice drive. You can see lots of stuff. Are you going to come into the U.S. and drive in the U.S., or are you going to drive across Canada and then come into the U.S. farther down? Looks like they rebuilt this whole Chevelle, so maybe I should put it on my list.
MH is here.
Hello, MH.
MH says, no Steve today. Had to pop in to see the gang.
No Steve. Was that Steven Andrews? Somebody did some work to this car.
Mikey says it's raining a little bit.
Yeah, it was starting to rain just a little bit when I brought the dog in the first time. Then the stupid little thing went back out.
The drizzle, my jizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo says, hey, they stole my Chevelle. Well, not exactly. Mine was called the Pig. It was in horrible shape, smelled like mildew, and was my college ride. Will the Trail is here.
Hello, Will.
And they say, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Spec. That's a nice small block Chevy with nice white headers. MH says, Steve and the Canadian robot lady.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this morning. I didn't even notice. I think I turned my alarm off when I wanted to snooze, so I slept for an extra 2 hours, which was the time that Steve would have been on. So
Kim says they really did all the details on that blue car, and finally some good pics.
I want to see more of the interior though. They're like really took a lot of pictures of the engine and the brakes and everything, but I want to see more of the interior.
Will says that looks like a Mexican spec Chevy Chevelle.
It is. It definitely is, and they were really proud of the fact that it had a V8 under the hood, so they put a huge V8 emblem above the side marker light. They wanted everybody to know there was a V8 under that hood.
Steve says, I'm going to start in Blaine, Washington, which is the most southwest border for me, and drive my way down.
Okay.
MH says, I'll be in Blaine Thursday or Friday. Okay.
I'm listening. listening for things happening outside. We brought the dog into the room here. We still had the air on, and he's pacing back and forth, and his nails on the floor, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, making Mrs. Spec nervous. So I opened the
Not
door to
nervous, anxious.
anxious. Opened the door to go out, and he shot back out to the backyard. So he gets what comes to him. He'll be under one of the cars. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Barracuda says my ex-wife saw a flying saucer once.
What shape was it?
Oh, hi, Barracuda.
He always does that. He doesn't even come in and say hello to anybody. He just comes in, like walks through the door talking about something.
It's like
hello, Barry.
It's like he just pops up his head and he's there all of a sudden. And Dan says, love this demon. Butterfly says, I saw it aim for your head, Barracuda. Image says, should I visit Vancouver, BC, or White Rock for a day? Popcar Steve. Keep Possible says to Barracuda, did she get abducted? Chevrolet says, they could have just put the traditional Chevrolet cross flags.
Not in Mexico. They had to be really proud that it had a V8 in it because most of the cars had 6 cylinders, the inline six. Kim, if she was abducted, she wouldn't remember seeing the craft or anything. They would have wiped her.
Very good as her head. Well, the drill says, so in Mexico, I assume only a small block 350 was available in the 73 through 77 Chevelle SS?
Yes. It's not an SS, but the only V8 available was a 350. And the 292 inline six.
Believe me, I'm into the cats.
Hey Joey, that comment's for you.
Joey,
damn. Not in Mexico, stray bullet. One engine and one engine only. One V8 only. No options.
I'm scratching him so he's quiet. Trouble says, I think that you could get the 400 also well.
Nope.
Well says the Dutch demon reminds me of Dutch changing that name because religious people were offended by the name.
Yeah, unfortunately they did.
Popcar Steve says White Rock is really nice and a lot less traffic. Vancouver has more to do. It's got cool restaurants if you're into that stuff. Bullet says maybe not in Mexico.
It is raining outside.
Yeah, I heard the rain.
I can hear it. Let's see how hard it rains and how much it floods in front of the house. There's the neighbor's 2 dogs are outside. I hope they can find some shelter. We didn't have options of engines. If you got the 6-cylinder, you got the same 6-cylinder. If you got the V8, it's the only one V8. There he says no abduction involved that you know about.
Right. Image says was reading an article about things to do in Whatcom country. Whatcom country, yeah.
Huh?
And an afternoon in White Rock was mentioned. Then talking to coworkers in Whatcom seems it is a thing. Whatcom says ate too much leftover pasta, sleepy.
You had pasta yesterday and more today. How could you leave? How could there be leftover pasta if it's on? If you make it, you eat it, right?
I hope you're freezing it and not just storing it in the fridge. So what it says, we put the battery on the wrong side. He put the battery on the wrong side. Dan says, pasta never makes me sleepy, but potatoes have because of the starch.
Mm-hmm.
Kim says, I got an advert for purple mattress. I guess they think I'm having trouble sleeping.
You are in a motel. You are in a hotel, Kim. So maybe you are having trouble sleeping. We've been in some hotels. The mattresses were not good. The hotel we stay at in Guadalajara, if we get the one bed, then there's these huge pillows, these long pillows that you just cannot get comfortable with. They're hard, long pillows. If we get the room with 2 beds, then they have the smaller pillows and they're softer. So we have to get the room with the 2 beds there.
Maricela says, actually, it was a dinner plate.
Oh.
Kim says, maybe I should log in with my member profile so I don't get adverts.
Yeah, because you're not green. You're the same color as everybody else.
Buffalo says restaurant pasta.
Oh,
MH,
okay.
MH says if I eat pizza, I'm in bed 30 minutes later.
Pizza.
You shouldn't sleep right after eating. Dan says pizza doesn't put me to sleep either. Turkey, on the other hand.
Well, put turkey on a pizza and see what happens.
Hooker says White Rock is about a 7-minute drive from the border to the downstrip. Vancouver would be about a 45-minute drive to downtown.
And then you have to worry about the exchange rate. You have to worry about everything you buy, you pay the tax on. Then you get back to the border and you give them your receipts and they give you your money back. It's a whole thing.
Papa says, the life partner pillow. What's a life
I
partner
hate
pillow?
it. I cannot. When we're out on a road trip, we need to be able to sleep in the hotel. If I don't sleep that night, how am I going to drive across the country the next day? So we have to make the choices we have to make for what we need to do.
What's a life partner pillow?
I don't know. Probably the long one.
Copcar Steve says White Rock is a lot like Birch Bay State Park. Bobfly says hit that long pillow with a UV light and be afraid, very afraid.
I don't want to know any of that, Biofly.
Dan says I guess one could make turkey work on pizza, but good luck.
The best pizza I ever had was in the 90s from Pizza Hut. It was the barbecue chicken pizza with barbecue sauce and plates of pizza sauce and chicken breast all over it. I ate the whole thing myself. The whole thing. Slap people's hands trying to grab it. It was so good.
MH says interesting. At was at Birch Bay last summer. Very nice. Anti-Disney tourism. City Bullock says 106 today. Makes MS sleepy inside.
Wow, that's hot. It only feels like 110, 115 here.
Dan says screw Disney. MH says lol.
No, Dan, he's probably in really bad shape right now. He's been dead a long time.
You. MH says lol. Pineapple and turkey pizza. Kim says, am I a member now?
Yes, Kim, you are green. Thank you.
Chocolate says, I hate sleeping in motels. I've seen too much. I'd rather just keep driving.
Stray Bullet, in Mexico, a motel is where you rent a room for an hour, hour and a half, or something like that.
Only an hour?
Most of these guys are young and they don't last that long. If you pay the good amount, you might have a jacuzzi in there. No water in it, but you can fill it up with the cold water they have. Or, they have different things. But a hotel is where you stay overnight. What do you want, kid?
He wants to know what day it is today. You already told him?
Yes, I told him. No,
Fireplace shutters.
sir.
City Bullock says me. Dan says, eating a whole large pizza used to be a normal couple days a week thing for me. MH says 102 in Denver today. Kim says that's the no-tell motel rates by the hour. Oh, commercial.
Well, you have to understand that people here live in generational houses. There's the parents, the grandparents, and the kids. So there needs to be places like that for couples to go and do what they need to do. So there's motels set up near the highway over here by this highway, in the middle of town. The motels, you can find them all over the place in all directions. Hotels are where you spend the money, to stay overnight and everything. But nobody calls a big like Fiesta Inn. Nobody's gonna call that a motel.
Yeah. Dan says an hour if I can get it. If an hour if I can get it up 30 times. What?
Are you 2 Minute Charlie?
Barracuda says in New Zealand it seems like the only time we see turkeys for sale is Christmas. Yeah. MH says Denver had a motel by the hour. It was the no-tell motel.
When you go into one of those motels here, the employee keeps their eyes down. There's a garage that you can put your vehicle in. The garage door comes down, and everything is completely private. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows you're going in there.
It sounds like you know a lot about this place.
I'm in my 60th year, and I've never told my son that that's where he was conceived. And I know exactly which one.
Okay. Wait, let me
And
just.
the reason that happened is because I had 5 or 6 dogs in the house.
Fair, fair.
You know that.
Well, this is hotel. That sounds fancy. Dan says abuelos. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And tíos, and tías.
Yeah, everybody's in the house, so there's no privacy.
Kim says to MH, it was 115 in Yuma. It's crazy. Wow,
If it's 100 actual 115, what is the heat index? How high does that go?
Yeah. MH says, which is why Yuma is inexpensive. Dan says maybe this scrambler came from Dennis or has passed through his hands.
It's very possible that they bought it there and then brought it into Mexico. But it's legally registered here. It's got classic car plates on it. You know, it looks like a pretty nice truck, other than maybe the wheels. The wheels probably original, but they need to be cleaned up. They look rusty to me.
Very good. That says Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
They don't ask for the names.
MH says that's bare bones there. Kim says MH to MH, nobody wants to be here during the summer. MH says funny. Heat index in Denver is usually 3 to 5 degrees cooler than the temp.
Not here. It tells us it's going to be 99 there, but it's going to feel like 115. Yeah, so.
Oh, in the panta.
Overbuilt is here.
Hey, Overbuilt.
Top Car Steve, is the scrambler odometer, speedometer in kilometers or miles? It's got to be miles per hour because these were never sold here new. So unless somebody switched it out, which I doubt. People here don't do stuff like that. Overbuilt, sweet old Jeep. I like that one. Yeah, it's very popular and they're very expensive. You know, I don't know what he actually paid, what Dennis pays for them, but who knows? It may be one for him. Dan says to Kim, and yet that's the best time to be there, possibly. Less people is better.
Overbuilt has just popped in, y'all.
We appreciate it, Overbuilt. No, nobody's gotten out of hand yet.
Buffalo says, had a rooster, I called the scrambler.
You named a rooster?
Yeah. Dan says, a real CJ-based Jeep.
Yep.
MH says, Phoenix feels humid to me in the summer.
I'm going to assume that the brown paint on that scrambler is pretty common, so there's nothing really special about it. But you never know. Dennis has had so many scramblers, it may have come through his hands at some point. I should probably look for the VIN and ask him if he's ever had that one.
Trouble said the CJ was the last good Jeep. Also, Tavo's here.
Hey, Tavo.
Hey, Tavo.
Thanks for joining us.
Also, Josh Homan is here.
Hello, Josh. It's storming outside right now, and it's supposed to be getting worse over the next hours or so. So we don't know if we're going to be able to stay on. If the electricity flips off, everything's going to reset, and we're going to be back to square one. So we'll let you know from the phone if that happens.
Dan says, if I was going to get a Jeep, it'd be a CJ.
CJ what? CJ5, where you hit your legs getting out of it every time, or the CJ7 that has a bigger door opening?
Papa says, have to name the rooster. It's a sport. I'm not. Ooh. Sorry. That was a thunder.
Okay, so they were fighting roosters.
Another bantam rooster was named Little.
Oh, I go out to the backyard, snap my fingers, and point to the top of my wall, and that's where the roosters go.
It's going to that. I don't know if it's mine or yours.
I don't know. We might have lost the.
Your Thomas says good evening. To one and all us.
Dan says getting some buffering, so we may have lost the internet.
Yeah.
Let me go look. No, I see it on. It is on. These keep coming in.
The dog. That was just thanks for letting me be here. Of course, though. You're always welcome. Raffles says Richard. Orville says, yeah, I'll whack off them trolls if they get out of hand. Fronted. Progressive says, well, I'm on twice, one on my TV and one on my phone, and bump up his numbers.
Overbuilt. We don't get many trolls here because we're not vertical. When you go live vertically, it sends it out to the whole world to come in and hey, look what they're doing. So it's basically just us that know about it. Even though I promoted it on all my live, all my videos and everything, nobody pops in here to ask me a question.
Dan says either or. Progressive says, make sure everybody hits the like button. I'm supposed to say like. Thanks, Progressive. Dan says, getting some buffering. Buffalo says, oh, I don't fight the roosters. I just give them for the names. See? No fighting. Dan says, it's clear back up. Buffalo says, I hear you back on.
You gotta make sure you click the live on the screen and when it starts buffering, you have to click the live.
That was we're still here. MH says, I just bought it up on the TV as well. I just brought it up on the TV as well.
Thank you.
Of course, this is it just me and Canada, or do we not have any sound?
My kid just sent me a message saying he's at the hospital right now. He's
working at the hospital right now.
Yeah, he's working at the hospital.
Don't scare people.
Interning.
Ándeme.
Dr. Spec. Well, why are you sending me messages?
We have sound courtesy. That was say Barry, and Mike says Datsun.
Yeah, that was a Datsun 720 crew cab.
That says my PC monitor is the size of a mid-size TV. I want a PC monitor big. I want a bigger PC monitor.
How much bigger do you want?
No, for that.
Come on, before we lose it.
Bajo is Little Richard, biggest because spooky, Craig, Thomas, etc. Okay. Yoshima is coming in good on my end. Hercules is not long till spring now, Tabo. Dan says, I take this LTD, buckets and console. Buckets/console. MH says, have 3 monitors at work. Have thought about just hooking up my 60-inch TV to save space, but why waste a TV on work? Fair. I do plug my TV to my computer sometimes to watch movies. That's an entirely different thing. Sorry. Orville says, yeah, I am not a fan of narrow view or shorts, but then again, I do not watch TV on a phone. PC hooked to smart TV only or my monitor. Dan says, lol, because. Popcar says, sound is back. Good. That was hopefully not too soon, Barracuda. We need more rain, lots more. Tribulo says, where's the fastback LTD?
They didn't have a fastback in 1976. 1970 was the last year for that.
Popcar says, Life of Brian. Firefly says, the LTD looks like the one used in Terminator.
What?
I don't know.
Which movie?
Barracuda says,
they used the Crown Victoria from 80 to 87.
Barracuda says, I suppose the annual rainfall is pretty low there. What that was?
Get rid of that.
A ver, dámelo.
Mira, la aerolínea del sí. Conoce la flexibilidad.
Technology. My son sent me a message. I'm in the hospital right now, working, and I'm pretty busy at night. I was tempted to say, then why are you sending me messages? But I didn't. I just said, well, learn a lot. I don't want to be that person. I am actually that person, but I don't want him to see that I'm that person. Yeah, the horseshoe shifter is interesting in that car, Dan. And it's even got air conditioning. So interesting. Next to the LTD and Terminator parking garage scene was a 72 Honda 600 coupe. How did you even see that? Next question. Why would you see that?
Horrible says, I know. Hold on. Ew!
That's what I just said.
Ew!
My kid just sent me a message, a picture showing him doing something to somebody's foot that I
He's
don't know,
cleaning a wound.
whatever. He says, "This is what I do almost every night, clean things." And I said, "Ew." He says, "That's diabetes."
So what Jose had. I'm telling you, he turned to a doctor because of Jose.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm the one he wants to save, not him. He's
Yeah, because
gone.
of Jose, because he couldn't save Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Orville says, I know where an extended cab, good looking Mazda red 1987 B 2000? 2022, no, 2000 or 2200,
Whatever
it is, looks good. Been sitting there for 15 years on paved driveway. You got to look hard to see it. I may go this week and try to buy it. Let us know how that goes.
Yes, and yeah, they're good trucks.
Tucker Steve says, I like the 1977 Dodge Monaco, police car that the Terminator was driving.
Overbuilt loves the Ranchero. It is blue. Lots of blue.
Dances times two.
Yeah.
Rafa says, used to own a Honda 600 coupe.
Why did you do that to yourself, Firefly? Why would you do that?
Orville says, Firefly, oh my lord, I love those. I kick myself in the ass for not buying one.
What is wrong with you guys?
Déjalos.
You gotta have the biggest cars there are, not the smallest.
Le dice el que le gusta ay, se me olvidó.
Firefly.
Your phone is going off.
12-inch, what?
Your phone is going off.
12-inch tires, twin cylinder, air cooled engine. Yes, I know. But why would you buy something like that? Read the comments. Fill time.
Fill time. Dan says, I remember checking out. Hey, Donnie. Hey, baby. Do you want to read the comments with me? You want to read the comments with me? I'm scratching him so he gets crazy. Hmm? You want to read the comments with me? Yes. Anyway, Dan says, I remember checking out one of those. Hold on, I'm reading the comments. You can't read. I remember checking out one of those Honda 600s in the showroom during the mid 1970s and marveling at how the gear shift came up and out of the dashboard. Up and out of the dashboard. Orville says Honda 600 or 800 little sports cars are sick. Triple says, I always like those Honda 600s. That says, shush. That says, the rear looks like our Falcon Ute. Or should it be our Falcon Ute rear looks like that Ranchero? ¿Qué quieres? Why are you running against the microphone? No. That says, no, wait. Steven Andrews says, hola, sorry, it does off. Don't worry. It's okay. Dan says, I might be thinking of a different model. Buffalo says, 4,000 RPM at 55 miles per hour, low, loud on the highway. Dan says, this color, the yellow one? I'm looking at the yellow one right now. Trouble is, I think that Honda had a little truck back then also. Honey, we're reading. It's quiet time. City Burlock says, overbuilt, there is a fixer upper in my town 351. This one is like new. Papa says the car was a hand me down. Oh. No, baby. No. Uno's here. Hey, you know. Touching feet is a gross. Touching feet is as gross as asking strangers to check out your GoFundMe to supplement your income because you're too lazy and crazy to keep a job. Fair, but he's interning to be a doctor, so he has to. So
Come on, Oscar. Inside.
Uno's here,
Hello, Uno.
and he's grossed out about touching feet.
Yeah, well, doctors have to do it. Doctors in training have to do it. I don't even know if he's getting paid anything. I'm not going to ask him either.
Top Card says it's 9 o'clock, my friend. Thank you for your support and helping me get my 500. We'll see you guys soon. Oh, he's leaving.
Okay. Bye, Cop Car Steve. We will see you soon.
This is hi, Steven Andres. Oh, hey, Steven Andres came back because he fell asleep. Kim says, I don't like this color on a fox.
Just go with the comments that are here on the screen.
City World says Ranchero 77 4K.
79.
Davo says, yes to big cars. I still want a 4K. 4K, sorry.
Oh.
Una says,
Put the Ford car in the trunk of the big car.
Una says, different looking makes it stand. Dan says, this color is only good on cookies and sweets. Davo says, I've never heard a cat meow in Spanish before. Danny was still in the microphone. Steve says, that Fox Mighty got my attention. Is that a Capri with a Mustang nose?
I wasn't here. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yes,
Mexican Mustangs came with the bubble back rear end, Mustang front end, or the coupe had the Capri front end. They mixed all the parts up. They did that on purpose.
Das ist gato Spec. MH is meow. Fernando puts meow. Cat.
I don't know where you are.
And Kim says Tavo, cat, Spanish. What is he saying? Dan says, of course, that's how they were built in Mexico that year.
This cat's bilingual.
Wildfly says, unfortunately, the LTD rubbed up against the Honda 600 in the movie during the getaway in the parking garage scene after Reese explained the future to Sarah Connor. Sorry. MH says, the cat understood it, I guess. She's bilingual. Dan says, other years they used the notch body with Mustang fenders and the Capri hood and grille and bumpers and taillights. Horrible says, Mexican Spec, I love all kinds of, I like all kinds. I like my cars, I like my women, like I like my woman, cute and high revving and Japanese. Like that Honda 600 to 800 roller bearing engine, very neat motor. Tucker Steve says, Danny Boy, cool, never have seen anything like that. Uno says, same losers post gambling links in the community page. Sheep umpires pretending to be righteous and virtuous, but they beg for the GoFundMe. I guess Kim says, they told us about the future, but we are building it anyway. So dumb. Dan says, maybe some on this channel. I'm more sensitive. Don't say like that. Oh no, that's a swear word. Buffalo says, Yup, Kim, corporate intelligence. Uno says, boost, smart, start mañana. What if I don't want any boost? Dan says, corporation are assholes too, my friend. Dan says, Mavericks need color kit racing mirrors. Buffalo says, needs to eliminate the ruling that declared a corporation as an individual.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Image says, love those old steering systems on snow and ice and just throw the wheel while hitting the brake to make a turn. And Uno says, did you catch shed? Did you find hairs everywhere? Ever find a whisker? They're rare and good luck. You make a wish when you find one. Danny sheds a bit. Joey sheds a lot.
Yes, there is cat hair everywhere.
There's cat, yeah, there's cat hair everywhere.
It's a way of life.
And I do find whiskers. I do like their whiskers.
Okay, I'll pet you. Scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Now go lay down.
Dan says D5 transmission in this Maverick. Triple says, is that a pearl paint Maverick?
I don't think so. I don't think that color would be pearl.
Steven Andrew says, my cat do floofies everywhere. Bowfly says, bareback laundry calls me. I do have been summoned. I must away.
I doth hath been summoned.
Oh, sorry, I'm bad with Old English.
Old English.
Orville says, Volkswagen
That's enough, Danny.
Volkswagen Carmen Ghia sweet. Best car yet. Only Volkswagen I like.
It's not a Carmen Ghia. That was a Porsche 356 replica. The guy that spends $30,000 for it probably wouldn't like it being called a Carmen Ghia.
Dances meow. Orville says, look whites. That was says, cat hair is the fabric of my furniture.
Yeah. We were outside today. I had no shirt on. We were cleaning the backyard. And I was sweating so bad, it got in my eyes. So Mrs. Spec offered her shirt, the underside of her shirt. So I got a bunch of cat hair in my eyes. Because cat hair is everywhere. There's no getting away from it. Which is fine. My cat likes to play fetch. Third cat I've had that does that. Our cats would look at us like, are you freaking kidding me? The dog too. He doesn't fetch nothing. Nothing. Dan, paint needs more wet sanding and another buff out. Your paint? Or paint on one of these cars? Overbuilt. Same here. Cat hair is my thing. Has to be it. Fucking ever. Could it be more red? No. Well, it could have red carpet. Could paint the dash red. Could paint the steering wheel red.
The bumpers.
Hmm?
The bumpers.
The bumpers aren't red?
No, they're black.
Oh, we'll paint the bumpers red. Overbuilt says, laughing, yep, 30,000 on a body. Yeah, not me. My dumb thought it was a modded Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. That's about what they're selling for on Bring a Trailer, about 30,000 the replicas. So instead of paying, I don't know how much a real one is, what, $1 million? Like 30,000 will get you the same looks. That black VW needs more finishing. Probably. They're daily drivers, most of these. MH says, those little plastic rings under bottle caps, like on Gatorade bottles, she'll chase those all day and all night and all day. Plastic caps.
No, the rings, though. Those rings.
Oh, okay. Those usually stay with the caps, though.
No.
Bravo. I had 3 cats over the years that played fetch. None of the current ones do. You're not a fetcher, are you? You're a hunter. You brought in some birds. The little one brings in lizards all the time. And whatever else. Glad they didn't bring in the bird they shredded in the backyard. The chick. Gray bullet. A nice Carmen Ghia probably costs a lot more than 30,000 nowadays. Probably. But those are real cars compared to the replica, which is actually a Volkswagen Beetle. So 30,000 for a Volkswagen Beetle is a pretty good price. Believe says, cat question. Have you ever let a cat rub its whiskers on a hairbrush? No?
Yes.
You have? They're talking about you. Did you know that?
I'm talking about your hairbrush.
I don't use it that much. That's not cheap 4x4 old Toyota. No, those in good condition, those sell for a lot of money. What did Dan say? DOV Road Ranch Spectra.
Yeah.
Pricey headlights. Uno says lots of people don't know anything about cars in this chat. You can tell when they call 356 Carmen Ghias or ask you why the Mustang had a bubble back. They have to learn about the Mexican cars just like I did. It took me a couple of years to to get with it. So I don't blame anybody. Overbuilt. Yeah, I got a 1981 with rust frame and woods at mom seeing this reminded me. Just happen to have brush handy. She likes to bite on it and hang her claws in it. MH says. Is that called Hilux over there? No, no, Tavo. It never had a name. It's just a Toyota pickup. And they're all US and they weren't sold in Mexico. So all of those Toyotas from like 2001 back are all imported. Because I think 2002, 2003, they started selling the trucks here.
Mark Sobe is here.
Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
All of a sudden, it just stopped pouring.
It'll come back. Overbuilt says Volkswagen Carmen Ghia 20,000 retail, at most a high 30,000. Over there, maybe. Here, they're selling for a lot more. They ask really high prices here because they're rare. I don't even bother listing them or anything. Lee says Mia loved it. Just had to say other side so she would get both sides. Overbuilt. Both too much. Both too much. You're still driving a Volkswagen 4-cylinder, so I don't know. Did they sell first gen S10s or Sonomas? No, they did not. They sold the later ones and they're selling brand new ones, new S10s, but they didn't sell the first generations here. In the early 80s, everything was closed. There was no pickups, hardly any pickups being made here at all. You had the Chevy C10, and that was about it, and the Dodges and the Fords. There were no small trucks at all. It was all full size stuff. Overbuilt says, "Ooh,
Wow.
that's a loud thunderclap." Overbuilt. They'll call some pickups SR5s. That's the trim level. Yeah, SR5. Uno says, see, Oba is constantly wrong about prices of cars. He just sees what he sees. I think Uno's trying to pick a fight.
Yeah.
He's trying to pick a fight with the wrong guy. We haven't seen Jay in here in a long time. But he's doing really well with his lives. I saw he did a live something about the 36 Oldsmobile he has, and he had 3,100 views on it. So that's not bad. I don't know how many people he actually had in there. Pablo says, okay, thanks for that info, Mex. All were Hilux here since the late 70s and still are today. Maybe Toyota thought Americans couldn't handle a name on a pickup, so they just didn't put it on there. But no, it never had a name there. Not until the Tacoma came out. Mark says, I'm doing okay but tired since 2 p.m. Friday. I've had a total of 5 hours sleep at the hospital with my wife. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope she's doing okay. Hope it's nothing serious. Bravo. SR5 was trim level down here too on the Hilux. Yep. And he says, hope everything will be okay, Mark. I hate being at hospitals. Well, the hospital here. Anomas were originally called S15. Yeah, and then they put a name on it to differentiate it even more from the S10. GMC does what GMC does. Then they gave the big trucks the name Sierra. The name of the truck was actually Sierra after a while. Before it was only a trim package, just like the Silverado became the name of the truck, and before it was just a trim level where you had the custom deluxe, and you had the Silverado. Right, Danny? You know about all that stuff, huh? Do you care? I don't think you care. You're getting cat hair on the microphone. Stop it.
I thought you said you didn't care.
He doesn't care about trucks.
No, you didn't care about cat hair and stuff.
No, I don't. We don't need to do it.
References hospitals are no place for sleep. Yep.
No.
Tell me about it. In the
And
hospitals here, they don't give you a place to sleep. They give you a hard chair, and that's it.
yeah, and you have to be there. You if in the public hospital anyway, they don't take care of your family member. Somebody in the family has to be there with them 24 hours a day to do what they need to do for them, to change the sheets, to change diapers, to change whatever. The nurses will not do anything.
No.
Will not do anything. And he says, and GMC took the name from the cab over a semi tractor, used it on their rear wheel drive minivans. Safari. Yep. Like I said, she had lesions in her intestines, but the last CT scan shows they are gone. She still has pain, so they're monitoring. Yeah, okay. Sounds like she's getting better, but yeah, the intestinal pain is hell. It's got to find the what do they call it, the pressure point. There's pressure points that will relieve the pain temporarily. Whenever I have a pain like that, I find the pressure point wherever it is, and I push on it, and it temporarily relieves the pain. When it says Toyota pickup not having a name had some BS to do with chicken tax. Same with VW Caddy. Well, all of the import trucks were like that, but see, the Nissan had numbers, which nobody ever paid attention to that any back then. The 86 and a half they called a hard body, but that's not really an official name.
No.
Mazda was just the B2000, B2300,
No.
stuff like that. So the trucks back then really didn't have names per se. Don't stop paying attention to the cat.
Don't stop paying attention to the cat. Okay.
Nurses won't let you sleep. They keep waking you up. Yeah.
So Willie says that's still a good looking car 60 years later.
Yeah.
Firefly says, damn, nurses don't do much there.
They don't do anything.
No. Dan says being at the hospital with someone who is admitted sucks almost as bad as having to be admitted.
Almost.
Josh says the pedals stick through the floor. I thought that they quit doing that in the 60s.
Nope, not in the Volkswagens and the Porsches. It's always been like that.
Dan says, and it's freezing cold in the hospital. Yeah, and in some places they don't let you bring in blankets.
Because you don't know what kind of diseases the blankets have.
Yeah, Baba says no pressure points. Yeah, I know like 2 or 3. Baba says, no, sorry, Tavo says most mini trucks here got names. Chevy Love became Isuzu KB, then Holden Rodeo. Nissan 20 series became Navara. Mazda was Bravo. Ford Courier then became Ranger. Alto 100 was named Triton. Marcellus says, Bafla, my sleep consisted of 1 hour one night, another hour the next night, then 3 hours this morning at home, but now back to by her side. Bafla says, yeah, Mark, they really suck the life out of you.
We were a long time ago. I was at the beach out here, and we have two sides of the beach where the actual ocean is, and then there's like I don't know what you would call it. It's where water collects, but they have the same animals and stuff. I stepped on a stingray, and he came up and his tail got me in the foot, and there's no medicine or anything for that. So, and when you're out in the beach, you have to go. So I gave the keys to my son's mother, and we drove to the medical place. There was so much pain in my foot, I was putting pressure on my foot the whole way back. And he's like, "There's no medicine for it. You just have to live through it. That's it." So that's what I did. Sat in the back seat with my hand on my foot, the pressure point the whole time. Got back to the house. It took a couple of days before it stopped hurting. But then I learned to swish my feet. You don't step in the water. You swish it back and forth because if there is one, then they'll move. And I'm not excited to go to an aquarium and see those things swimming around in there.
Orville says, I want an old Land Cruiser pickup truck feeder from south of the border. I know Paz Mexico used to build them in Venezuela until 2007, 70 or 80 series Land Cruiser pickup.
Yeah, we didn't have those here at all. They're way farther south.
Dan says air-cooled Volkswagens and Porsches, I think. Keep floor pedals much later. Kept
Yeah, till 2004 in Mexico.
And it says Mitsubishi had Dodge, Ford had Mazda, and Chevy had Isuzu. And one was left for Toyota, Nissan, or Volkswagen, so they played games with names to get away with tax avoidance.
Toyota, Nissan, and Volkswagen didn't need help. They were selling enough vehicles by themselves. They never needed help selling their cars and trucks.
Mark says, meow. Triple says, I think that they shipped the mini trucks here with the beds removed.
Yes, they did.
Dan says,
That's why the paint didn't match front to back on most of them.
Dan says, like this green on this bus.
This thing is loaded with all kinds of camping stuff.
Says, that was all my answer. It is not preschool learning. Buffalo says, ouchies. Stingray, at least it was not a stonefish. Yeah.
No, but it was in very shallow water, so it was just sitting there on the ground, right? So, I mean, why he was there, I don't know.
It's his place of living. His house.
Yes, but there's so many people in the water with all the feet going up and down. You'd think he'd learn his lesson, but it hurt. It hurt a lot.
Orville says 1998 Toyota Land Cruiser HCJ75 pickup. Orville says took me a while to figure out the lettering.
I don't know anything about their lettering. Never been a fan of those vehicles.
Buffalo says stonefish venom can make toes turn black and fall off. Sounds like a hemotoxin-based venom. Too lazy to look it up now.
It probably is, but I don't think we have those here.
No, the most that we have, I guess, on this area would be the stingrays, and we have some kind of jellyfish.
But they're not in the shallow water. A jellyfish wouldn't be in shallow water.
Yeah, they are.
They need to swim up and down. They're not in shallow water.
It's some kind of jellyfish that gets washed up to shore very often.
Not on that. Not on the side I was on.
Dani, ¿me dejas moverme? Me iba a mover justo cuando te acostaste.
He's only sitting.
Sí, pues, pero me quiero mover.
You have your bed over there. Why don't you go over there?
¿No le gusta eso?
I don't need to scratch you all the time.
A
ver. Now here comes the dog.
Ay, no.
Firefly says West Coast is where you find them, I think. Well, we are on the West Coast.
I can't believe Joey is the most behaved
jellyfish today. Float on the water. Yeah. That's not what I saw at the aquarium. When there's a whole group, they're all in the water. They go up and down and up and down. Yeah, that's not Gato Spec. Gato Spec is being a good cat with his eyes closed on the bed. This is Danny. Quiet. Jellyfish are weird looking, yes. I don't know what the purpose of everything they have. You know, why they were put together like that. Mark says, so it's 12:25 here. I'm going to take off. Don't want to piss off anyone here for listening to a YouTube video later on. Good night, Mark. Tell your wife we're thinking of her.
Hi, Mark.
And hopefully the pain will pass. The Medusa jellyfish swim underwater. The Portuguese man of war floats on top. I don't think we have Portuguese anything here.
Huh?
I don't think we have Portuguese anything. It would be down by Brazil. And people keep telling me how independent cats are. Please be more independent, both of you. That has a little fin on the back, on the trunk. It's not supposed to. It didn't come from a factory like that. Somebody added that. Same thing on the blue one. They did a bad job on that one. But good night, Mark. Overbill says, I own an 84 Land Cruiser FJ60 wagon, 4.2 liter, six based off Chevy 6. There's one in here. I don't know if you saw it already or it's coming up. There's one here in Mexico, but they want a ton of money for it. I became a fan because of the build gear drive T case 9.5-inch rear ring gear. The solid built old Jap ways of doing stuff. Too bad it ain't that way now. No, they don't want it to last. Nope, definitely not. Interesting checker flag wheels. Yeah, they're checkerboard wheels. They came on the Monte Carlo in Mexico, and they came on the Malibus here. But from what I understand, those wheels were offered in the U.S. in '85 and '86, and basically nobody wanted them.
Dan,
I've never seen one with those wheels in the U.S.
Dan says, I love one of these actually.
They're hard to find, and this guy wants a lot of money for this one. It's not the original steering wheel either. It came with a wood steering wheel from the factory.
That says, can I send some Australian box jellyfish over to you for you to step on? No, thank you. I'm
No,
fine.
no. I step on enough stuff already, Towel.
MH says, cats were never really domesticated. They just tolerate us.
Well, that doesn't seem to be the case in with any cats that I've ever had. Well, and that's not true. Julia's sister was kind of wild when they both ran across my face in bed.
So this is to MH. Cats weighed the benefits and made their choice.
Mm-hmm.
Rafa says, Australia is just outright poisonous. Dan says, aftermarket third brake light.
Yes, it is. Somebody added that, which was totally unnecessary.
Dan says, GP dash.
Mm-hmm. From the factory.
Tavo says, I like an early 60s FJ40 Land Cruiser. There are a few around here, but they sell for insane money.
There's one coming up here. You're going to see exactly. I put the price that they're asking. That's not the ultimate price, but it's what they're asking to get the thing into my hands.
Mosquito, 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 mosquito. My hand.
Hmm?
You want to see my hand?
Here.
Oh,
And it says when humans became agrarian, grain storage affected vermin. Vermin attracted cats. It was a good deal for everybody. Cats are big, spoiled babies. Brats all in the same day. Are you a brat?
yes.
He's cleaning himself.
That was cats domesticated humans. Definitely. MH says, lol, so they think. Dan says, those outside mirrors look wrong too. Papa says, Cooper Cobra tires again.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty popular right now.
Kim says, Tavo, speak for yourself. I'm feral. Dan says, that air filter sucks. It doesn't after a few miles. Or doesn't after a few miles.
Doesn't allow the suck after a few miles, you mean. Filters don't actually do the sucking. The dog's right under me. Not laying down, but he's right under me. That air filter is not very backfire tolerant. No. But if you notice, that's not really an air filter. That's where the propane goes in for it to be running. That's a propane powered truck, which is very, very common here. Considering the price of propane is probably a third of what a liter of gasoline costs. So people love the hell out of it here. You know what this means, though?
What?
We're not going to be able to use that bathroom anymore. It is flooding in front. Thin strip of foam catches fire, falls in the car, ruins it. Mm-hmm. We weren't that late, were we? We're like 10 minutes late.
Yeah, no, 15.
Because it's 9:33 and we've been on for an hour and 5. It was about, yeah, it was about 10 minutes. Mulholland Rice Rocket. I don't think anybody would take a 4-door on Mulholland Drive. Man,
Hmm.
the 2-doors were all over the place when I was in high school. People loved those, and they were cheap. The 2-door 510s. Who would have known that the prices were going to skyrocket to space? You know, nobody knew. You could get them for $50 if it wasn't running.
That says used to be that way with propane here until enough cars were converted. Then the government taxed it like gasoline. Now it's a little over half price and hard to find.
Hmm. I'd be worried if I was driving a propane powered vehicle all the way back from like down south up here because you guys have been on the live with us and it's hard to find gasoline out here, let alone a place to load propane. I don't want to have to get off the highway, go into a town to find a propane place and then find my way back to the highway. I want to do it on the highway. And I just don't see the propane tanks out there in the gas stations. You have a gas station here every 100 kilometers or so. It's going to be a lot more with the propane.
Our button is here.
Oh, hello, our button.
They say right on, Captain, right on.
Propane is high octane, works well with turbos and high compression. Really overbuilt. People say they have less power with the propane. And makes the trouble with propane and taxis is the tank took up half the trunk. Yeah,
Says filters before and after the fuel pump. That says looks funny with the push rod engine. Our 1600s were overhead cam.
yeah, but they weren't overhead cam here because basically nobody was doing highway driving. They were only around town cars.
Horrible says propane has an octane rating between 104 and 112.
Oh, that's nice. I also hear that if you run propane, that it does not dirty up the engine. After 100,000 miles, the inside of the engine looks like it's brand new. So that's a good thing.
The bullet says, oh, sorry. Some people say that the uh, four-door 510 has a shifter chassis, stiffer chassis than the two-door, making it handle better.
Yes, but that you're talking about the US spec 510 that has an independent rear suspension that the Mexican car does not have. So people don't want the Mexican ones. The wagons maybe, but not the sedans.
Tabo says to image, some cars were built here to run propane from the factory. Sorry, they had three slim tanks on the rear floor or a donut tank in the spare wheel well.
It probably didn't hold very many liters.
Overbuild says filling propane is not the easiest. It's not hard but different.
There's stations here. You pull in with your tank from your barbecue or whatever. The guy will hook it up. It's an actual station that you can drive your car in and he'll fill it up. But you just have to know where they are. When you're out on the highway, I don't. The app says how far it is to a gas station. It doesn't say anything about propane.
Dan says octane does not equals energy, I think.
No, but it's probably better for the engine.
MH says interesting though. Billy says Dan, you're correct. Kim says octane is the resistance to pre-combustion.
Right, so that is probably better for the engine.
Papa says the Open Sky website is distracting me. Shows all the flights with altitude and speed. Dan says true. Propane leaves a very clean engine inside. Brando says right, Captain, right upon the mystery ship. That says propane only cars down here at 5,000-mile oil change. The oil came out pretty much the same color it went in.
That's another positive.
Kim says Buffalo Stop website. Buffalo says I can see why. ¿Qué tienes? ¿Tienes hambre? Ahorita te duele.
Maybe ending up in the bathroom soon.
You don't have to announce it.
I just did.
Fine.
But if I do, don't save all the messages for me. They'll be completely lost.
Fine.
Oil doesn't break down, Dan. That's just a myth making you have to change your oil and spend money.
People says I will probably never change my oil if I had a propane vehicle though. Chances or switch up.
I don't think it would.
I want to play Diablo. I haven't played Diablo in so long. Who here has ever played Diablo?
Although no sludge, but it probably would break down in time. But how long? Like a million years? Image says, I think I used to use FlightWare when I dispatch limos. Flight aware. Oh, flight aware.
Triple says maybe the filter every 25,000 miles. Papa says okay, I can't stay awake any longer.
So are you leaving? Good night. Good night, Vilefly.
Good night, Vilefly.
Thanks for being here.
Orville says propane has less BTU per liter, but very high octane, not detonation, burns very clean. The resin, the lowest power is the old IMPCO in my
Fuel systems most used.
Use our junk restricted flow.
Okay.
Oh, careful. Thunderbird is here.
Hey, Thunderbird.
Orville says, but what EFI injection fix it all? Prophet says good night all. Thunderbird says goodbye to Firefly.
Dan's getting there too.
Well, the joke says the 2007 Ford BF Fairlane Gia came up for sale all the way in Melbourne, Australia. I would love to buy it since it's only 9,900. Don't know how much it'll cost to import it though.
You would have to use a container, and it'd probably be $5,000-$6,000 somewhere around there. Yeah, just somewhere around there. But you'd have to see if there's a direct route from Australia to a port where it's anywhere near you. We couldn't find a shipping company that'll take cars from here up to Washington. The farthest they'll go is up to Los Angeles, and then they cut back over to Hawaii. So we've been trying on the West Coast to get stuff up to Washington. Haven't been able to yet. Overbuilt liquid propane. EFI just uses gas compatible, normal looking fuel injectors. That system will run same as gas, better if you have high compression. Pablo used to do propane conversions for a time. Propane only. You could bump base ignition up from 5 to 15 or even 20 degrees. Dual fuel couldn't take full advantage of the propane. Got to have it tuned for both of them. I wonder what they call this color green. Would it actually be taxi green? Because they only use it on the taxis. They only use it on the taxis. See, these cars finished in 2004, but that's when you had the Actus, you had the March, you had all the. There's a whole bunch of cars that came in and filled the void that the Beetle left. All of the entry level cars. None of them were as cheap as the Beetle. The new Beetle was like 80,000 pesos, brand new.
And that's what I was thinking, MH. Well, says, I'm sure there's a ship that has a route to New York.
Aren't you on the West Coast, Will?
That was a Skirmish Green.
And if you look at the map, Australia is directly down from the west coast of Mexico down south.
There's not much luggage space in that taxi. It is missing the front passenger seat.
Yeah, you're not going to put a whole bunch of luggage in there, but this was just to get you from A to B in Mexico City. And they were all over the place.
Robert says they used to run propane school buses here, but I heard they had problems installing on hills.
Well, that's not good.
Dan says it's green and smells like Miss Piggy. That was it looks very much like Chrysler Green Gold. Chevrolet says I will turbocharge using propane. Probably wouldn't even need an intercooler. Pedro says no, I live in Long Island, New York.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it might be a little harder to get you the engine from the West Coast. So, might be an issue. I think these cars came from the factory with only one seat. They had a passenger seat delete, and I don't think they came with this interior though. Although you never know. It could be the original seat since the driver's seat looks really worn. Not the material, but the foam underneath.
Mm.
It's showing 1,200 to 3,000 Sydney to Mexico in a shipping container. Thunderbird's never been to New York, but I would like to someday. New York people are not car people. Sorry, Chris. New York City people are not car people, so there's no reason to go there.
Well, says Hank Hill will be pleased about y'all talking about propane conversions to cars.
Propane and propane accessories.
Orville says, I must say this is what I am told by a hot rodder in Oz. He ran a propane turbo FJ60 mud rock racer thing, custom engine. He has 10K in that belt, easy or more. Image says, I was surprised it was that long.
Yeah, but you have to see what that includes.
Chevrolet says, I like that taxi. I start a business here with it.
It would never get approved to be a taxi there. No way. And they changed the rules where all taxis had to have four doors. So that left the Beatles out. But it was the end of an era for Mexico City.
Dan says, off-roaders like propane because it doesn't get upset by gravity. Will says, I'm sure the Mexican 302 would run great in propane. On
Yeah,
propane.
they do here. That's for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of them here. I've seen the carryalls with the propane tank in the back. Overbuilt says it made 640 foot-pounds of torque, 3,800 RPM, somewhere around there. That's nuts for an old inline six four main bearing engine. Yeah, that is a lot. What are you doing?
We're reading. I don't know where you were.
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird says New York people used to be car people. The street race scene in the 70s and 80s in New York was lit apparently, but probably not in the main hub.
No, I'm talking about New York City.
Chevrolet says the nice things about propane for off-road is that they'll still run upside down.
Is that what you want, really? To get the engine to keep running while it's upside down?
That's a lot of thunder. Can you guys hear the thunder? I doubt it, but can you guys hear it? MH says Toronto requires all taxis to be new. Um, that's about as dumb as it gets. They also must have cloth seats. No more sliding the old ladies back and forth making sharp turns.
Was that a competition?
Overbill
Who can
says,
slide more old ladies?
Overbill says years ago, Elderbrook's daughter ran a Mustang propane car,
Hmm,
drag car. The number says, I don't think propane goes bad either, at least not the way gas does.
I don't think so either.
That was my last propane car, an Aussie Falcon 4.0 liter, with barely noticed the difference in power between gasoline and propane, except it was much smoother on propane.
Hmm,
Chevrolet says, I will be running an outlaw taxi service Mexican. You know that I don't even have a valid driver's license.
that's true. And you are in California, so run Montana plates on an old Beetle in California on a taxi service. See how long before they even notice you're doing it.
Image says, I've driven in New York. The traffic is not that bad unless you're trying to get somewhere.
I think everybody's trying to get somewhere.
Will says, I thought I heard a rumble on your live stream.
Yes, pretty loud thunder outside.
Steven says, not New York City, but yes, upstate there's a plenty of cars.
Yeah,
Car parks.
Chris lives upstate.
Dan says, I ran propane in the AC of my old 93 Corolla in the summer of 13. That was a Thunderbird under pressure, steel containers. It's good after 20 years.
Mhm.
Our says, yep, it's all on the setup. Vacuum tune it like anything A++ way it should happen. Job run, in my opinion.
Tony didn't get much out of his car on running on propane, to do burnouts or anything else. So he just gave up on that. Thunderbird says, anyone seen videos of Harlem in the Bronx in the 80s? It's something else. Yes, it definitely was, and not a place I would want to be. That's not the kind of climate that I would want to start out my life in. Here's the Land Cruiser for you, Overbuilt. Automatic, 1989. It said. If we're going to try to keep the analog cars running longer, would propane extend the life of our vehicles? I'm pretty sure it would, because the engine would run a lot longer, being as clean as it stays. You rebuild an engine, put propane on it, it's never going to fail you, as long as you don't overheat it, I guess. Tony didn't do it right.
I was just gonna refuse to listen to people with a working history on the stuff.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Orwell says, yep, mine is black. Image says, I rode through the Bronx on a train in the 80s. Grateful I was on a train.
Yeah. Don't get into their neighborhoods. New York City was just as bad. Take your life in your hands going to that place.
Phone number says, Tony is a very self-made man. Not likely to take advice, I reckon.
He was also doing YouTube videos, so he wanted to get a reaction and get views. So he did what he did. Yes, Kim has the setup, and I think it should go on the Bronco too. Can you put it on the Bronco too?
Orville says, with round headlights, only difference and 4.2-liter carbureted, that 89 has 4.0 liters EFI.
Mm-hmm. Basically the same thing, just a little older.
Ya me dio sueño.
I'd rather have the manual overbuilt, definitely. There's only 200 pictures left. 230. And remember, the animal pictures are coming up. Certain parts of Chicago South Side, you just roll through the stop signs, or just don't go there at all. Josh says, use it on your barbecue grill. Yeah, that's what it's for. But a lot of people here use it on their cars. My buddy, he had what the hell was it? A 2001 Dakota Extra Cab, 4.7-liter engine, and I knew it was a 4.7 because we got into it. He put the key in, turned the key, and the engine was tick, 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 tick. I said, is it a 4.7? He's like, yeah. So the first thing we had to do was go down to the propane place and put some more propane in it. I don't know how he knew it needed propane, but I don't know if there's a gauge or something. But he put a little bit in it. Didn't cost him very much, and he was able to drive for a while on that.
That was a, here's a name difference from Australia to the US. The Suzuki here was a Sierra.
Really? I wonder why they called it a Sierra. They didn't sell any other vehicles there named Sierra?
Thunderbird is a Samurai. Don't see those every day.
Not anymore, and the prices have skyrocketed on them. I guess people that pay a lot have never driven one. That license plate should not be there. It should be down there between the tail lights. I bought and sold a lot of these. Every time I got one, it sold quickly because it's a small vehicle, doesn't use much gas, and they were only a couple of years old at the time, and they were cheap.
So what is this? Put the propane. Oh, sorry, commercial.
Put the propane setup on that Turbo Slant 6, Kim. That will show Tony. Kim says, yes, I could put it on the Bronco too. I'm not sure why, but it could be interesting to see if it would work. That rig is already a mess under the hood. Yeah, but you put a carburetor on it, so it'll be easy to put the propane on there. Cabo, correct. Nothing else down here called Sierra. That's interesting. So I guess car companies register their names for each country, not just generally. Image says had a 65 Chrysler, odometer and gas gauge didn't work. Got very good at counting mile markers. Mosquito right here.
This one's from three. There you go. Isn't that?
Got another one there. Why are there mosquitoes in here? What?
No, it's not.
It's a lizard on the outside of the window.
No, I thought it was the gray.
Yeah, it's a lizard right there. Where are you going?
Me duele la espalda.
Well, you got to learn where the mosquitoes like to stay and then meet them on their own turf. Jim says to Stray Bullet, I don't need to prove anything to Tony, but propane's high octane would make it much safer for turbo. Here's everybody's favorite van, Thunderbird. Did you guys ever get the 15 passenger Chevy Express vans or the GMC Savannah vans?
Pues Tony could use a lesson about propane and charger.
I don't know if we got the. Did we get the Express? I think we got the Express vans here, but only with 6 cylinders.
Image says nice place to now while working on the engine. Now the propane turbo would have to be drawn through, not run through. Drawn through, not run through.
Mm-hmm. The question is, how are the mosquitoes getting in here? That's the question. I don't think so, because there's a fan in there. They would get chopped up by the fan. I don't know. Stephen Andrews, I just drove a new rental Chevy Express van. It was like being back in 1999. That's a good thing, Stephen Andrews. They should call this the butt ugly. You never know, they might. It's a Chinese van and they won't know what that means. Come on, Tavo. You can have it down there. Don't they have Chinese vehicles down there? You can have the first one on your block. It's only 1,100,000 pesos. Tavo, I would need to do research before I even attempted it. And buy the parts, which may not be all that cheap. Thunderbird, our family van was a 2002 15 passenger Chevy Express, 5.7 liter, lots of fun to drive.
So what is not true is the only sensible way to turbocharge with a carburetor cable. But the turbo lead model Subaru a few thousand miles last year, heated it, all the driver assist track, and when you want to slow down, use the cruise control. You're facing around, and your voice booms through the room.
The only Subaru that I would drive would be a new one. I mean, not anymore, I guess. I did buy a new, I think it was a '98 model Outback wagon in dark green with leather interior. It was a really nice car, really nice driving car. Up in Oregon, man, that the rain and the mud and everything that's up there when it rains, this didn't phase this car at all. It was great. Heated seats and everything. It was great. I would never buy a used one though. As Kim knows, she has one sitting on her property.
So what is probably wouldn't even need an intercooler.
Propane doesn't burn hot, does
Kim says, "Oh, I have parts for the turbo slant six. It's the shop time that I am lacking at the moment. Being in Yuma with the car in Tennessee doesn't help. Thunderbird says, "Is this?" Thank you.
No, I'm sure he has better taste, Thunderbird. That is for the masses. He's not going to be caught dead in something that looks like that. No way. But I know how much you guys love it, so I kept it in there.
You'll be um I just lost the word. I had it.
But I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Still raining outside, which means it's flooding in front. One of our bathrooms is unusable. The other one, you got to go in there with a field zapper. They don't like the rain inside somehow. Right, Joey?
Kim says, Mexican Spec, we picked up my new 1999 Jeep Grand thingy today.
You did buy that? The 4.7? I assume it's four-wheel drive because they were towing it behind a motorhome. But hopefully, we'll see some pictures soon.
Fernando says the radio was still that blue green. The cruise control, okay, was exactly like our 2011 GMC truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They haven't changed anything in them, and they shouldn't. The Grand Cherokee is basically the Jeep version of my Durango. Just a shorter wheelbase, so my Durango drives much better. I don't like the shorter wheelbase. They were not cheap when they were new, so that Thunderbird, you like one of those Thunderbirds with a 5-speed manual?
Kim says yes, it's at 4.7. I will take pictures and video in the cool of the tomorrow morning.
Cool of the tomorrow morning. There's no such thing in Yuma, Arizona. Just like it is here. It's less hot, but it's not cool. If we go outside right now, the only cool thing is the rain falling down. The air actually is not cool.
Image says getting YouTube ad on the TV.
Thank you. We need the centavos. They're going to pay us.
Thunderbird says, will this be a 5.0 Thunderbird?
No, it would not. It would be a 3.8 liter. There were no V8s in Mexico in the Thunderbird. This is the 6-cylinder, but with a 5-speed. So if the engine keeps running, you'll never have a problem. The car will never leave you stranded with the 5-speed. Car too, and those are super coupe wheels.
Kim says,
cool.
cool.
Maybe it is a super coupe.
When it's only 95.
Comparatively. We have the same kind of thing here. Dog go.
I don't know.
Not under my chair anymore.
I think I heard him get up and he went over here.
Waiting for me to go to the door so go out. Sit underneath the car in the rain.
Fernando says 61 degrees and scattered showers here.
I was complaining about me being far away from the microphone. So I need to be with the microphone. Mrs. Spec took it off me and put it on the bed. She said I have a loud enough voice. Is that better, Tavo?
No, I'm away from the microphone.
I'll be right here.
I need spacing.
And it says heading to Northwest Washington Tuesday. Looking forward to those 80-degree days and cool nights. Is it that cool there? I am a wanderer when I talk, Kim. If I'm on the phone like with Buff for an hour, I wander from the room to the hall to the living room to the dining room back to the room. I walk all over the place. I'm a wanderer. Thunderbird. I would actually totally buy an 80s or 90s Thunderbird with a 5.0. You're not going to get a stick shift with that though. I've been here the whole time, Josh. She just took my microphone from me. Isn't that terrible of her?
¿Verdad que sí?
Yeah. Stray Bullet. Why do they make Buff go to Arizona in the heat of the summer? Because he's the only one that can do what they want done. And that's good for him.
No, says that's better. That was much better.
Good.
Jennifer says, what does Buff do for work that he's in Arizona?
Something secret.
Ooh. Okay, well, it says they could just not easily do whatever they're doing in the winter.
Not if the company that hired that paid him to go there needs it done right now. And I'm sure he's getting good money for it because it's a place that he doesn't want to be, so they have to make it worth his while to go. It's called leverage. If they have a deadline, Stray Bullet, they have a deadline that needs to get done right now.
And this is the Thunderbird. He's working on some kind of inventory organization software. It's not secret. It's just
Where are you going to be in Washington, MH? Stephen Andrews, #1, wants to know. You guys get tired of seeing Volkswagen Beetles on here? I put them on here because Chris in New York likes them. There's so many of them here. In any color you could want, including pink pearl. Hmm?
Thunderbird says, wow, sounds like Buff is a smart fellow. So what is it? They can do their inventory in the winter. Which says Wacom, Gadget, Island Counties, sometime in Seattle. Kim says Thunderbird, many years of experience. Houses never get tired of beetles, hardly ever see them here.
Good. It's good to know.
Chevrolet says, I would complain.
The wheels that are on this Blue Beetle, when you see them for sale, they're like 15,000 pesos for the set. That's how much just the wheels are worth. When you have a chance to make money after when you're retired, Stray Bullet, you take it when they offer it. Especially when he wants to go to the No Name Nationals in about a month and a half. Stray Bullet, he's probably working in air conditioning. Well, yes, it's a company. They have air conditioning. The heat is not that hard to deal with. It's a dry heat, so it doesn't really hit you like that. Not like it's really humid.
Ow!
You got a job.
Me pegue.
You got a job.
Me pegó.
Yep. You're playing with the cat again.
He hit me.
And that's not a euphemism.
He hit me. Joey, did you saw that?
No, he was facing the other way. He's not a witness.
I'm a witness.
Can't trust your word.
Yes, I can.
No. Kim says, Stray Bullet, they can't sell product if they can't find it, and every day that goes by, the problem was compounding.
Might check out White Rock, BC, or Vancouver as well.
Why does this car have such big wheels on it?
That was just my late dad got called back to his workplace after retirement for breakdown. F off. Had they treated him better when he was with them, he would have helped out. Chevrolet says it's 115. It's not Mexican.
I know, Stray Bullet. I lived in Las Vegas for 10 years. It's not that difficult to deal with.
Kim says yes. It goes from air here to an air in the car to air at work. It doesn't go outside much of his job, and they don't want it to kill him. So that's how we did it in Minnesota in winter. These are good looking cars.
Now, I love covered headlights, but it takes so much effort to open these headlights. It's not my favorite car. You know how the headlights open on that thing? You have to grab the handle that's on the right side of the steering column and pull it with all your might, and then the headlights flip over like that. Nothing electric, nothing automatic. It's just muscles.
Tim says those big wheels look good in the front, but don't look right in the back.
You can see the brakes. The brakes are small. There's no reason to have such big wheels.
Fernando says I love those Opals when I was a kid. I like this little Opal. Cute. Which is mini Corvette.
That's what everybody called it. My aunt's boyfriend at the time had one, so I sat in the car and tried to pull the headlight thing to get the headlights to flip over, and it was too hard. I'm sure as an adult I could, but it's got to be automatic or hydraulic or not hydraulic, but electric or vacuum, one or the other, but not manual. No, 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 no.
Thunderbird is a cool truck.
Yeah, but Tavo, it is there's a there's a lot of resistance to turn it over. I don't even think a vacuum motor would be able to do that. I don't think so. It's so heavy. Each one of those is so heavy.
Fernando says Will needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
Image says any surefire way to clean up those cloudy headlight lenses?
On what? They sell kits at all the auto parts stores with instructions to sand them, to buff them, to clean them up. All headlights should be glass, so that never happens. It's a safety issue. Freaking stupid that the governments allow plastic headlights on a car.
Joshua says National Geographic must have left one of the vehicles.
Well, he stickered it up like that. I was talking to the guy. It's a very, very, very nice example of a four-wheel drive Toyota truck. Very nice and not that expensive either, considering what 365,000 pesos. That's not even $20,000 for that truck.
Somebody will buy that and we'll see Mr. and Mrs. Spec driving it across country.
I may not want to drive that across country. I may want to put it on transport.
Josh says looks pretty good. I would think it would be much rougher. Josh, it's a really sporty decal package. I like the effort.
They were trying to make it look like something.
Fernando says toothpaste. Image says I missed the headlights on my 1990 Buick. Those were choice.
The Honda Accords that I had, the 90, 92, and 93, had glass headlights, but the bulbs that they had in there, even on high beams on the highway, I couldn't see anything in that car. One of those really needs the new, I don't know, whatever, the bright headlights and stuff, but it did have glass headlights. And it looks like Thunderbird's leaving.
Yeah.
Good night, Thunderbird.
Good night, Thunderbird.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm glad we've been able to be on so long with it being thundering and lightning and raining outside.
Image says I've seen those videos, Fernando says good night, Thunderbird. It says you have to drive an Opal if you get the chance.
I've driven them.
Josh says it's quite a good effort indeed. It says, and then there's the sandpaper people.
I should get one of these cutlasses for myself. A two-door Eurosport 3.1 liter with a 5-speed manual. It's the perfect car, the perfect forever car. The engine will never give up on you, and the transmission will never give up on you, and it's a really neat looking car. I'm not sure about that. They covered the dash, so no. Stephen Andrews, you have an Eagle? Is that an AMC Eagle? Here's our dog, our dog Oscar. He's sitting right here, wanting to go outside into the rain. Dumb. Well, never mind. And that's him asleep on the cool ground, cool floor. Are you embarrassed yet, Oscar? Believe says thunder and lightning, very, very frightening. Mamma mia, let me go. Buff swears by sandpaper and clear coat. A lot like work. Yes, it is. I always forget the clear coat part though on my Durango. I'll just buy new headlights. It's easier. Now wait, on this car, hey everybody watch the car. This caddy. You won't believe the interior color they chose for this from the outside color, whatever they call that color. The inside is gonna burn your eyes.
It's like a melon.
That's a good name for it, melon. Oh, Chrysler Eagle Vision. Oh, that's very different. Kid's mother has a dog that size. We call her the barking cat. I don't think he'd appreciate it. Are your eyes burning yet? I was driving this vehicle as a rideshare while weaning myself out of the taxi biz. Now that I hardly drive at all, cleaning those headlights has lost urgency. That makes sense. Okay. You still, if you go out at night, you need to have them clean. You tell about this one.
Huh?
You tell about Julia.
Julia was a cat that we've had since she was born.
She was born in my house.
We've had her for 16 years. She passed away last year. And she was my cat.
And she stayed in the bedroom with Mrs. Spec.
Yeah. A lot.
The diesel caddy at Bonneville this year? That's way too slow. Oh my god, it burns, but explains the stripe selection. Yeah, I guess they tried to match it. MH, my computer red shifts at night. Bright green on the computer, bright blue on the TV. It didn't run fast at all, straight bullet. It was a diesel. Wish it was a manual. I think the 3.3 pushrod V6 will run forever. Transmission, not so much. Well, that's for sure. Both my calicos were fetchers. No, Julia didn't do anything. Nothing.
She did try to calm us down when we were fighting.
Oh, yes. If we were not fighting, but just arguing like we do with loud voices, she would always hop up in the bed and get in between us. Calm down, calm down. Now this one does. The next one up is Bonneville is hard to watch because most people don't have the correct equipment to film it properly. You mean the salt flats? They should be using drones. You're not going out. Who's up next? Are you up next? Got those Spec? Are you up next? I put this one in here for Uno. I don't know if he's here anymore. He asked for one of these. This one can be sent to Canada legally. It's over 15 years old, which is their limit. Another ad. Is it just giving you one at a time? And this is Danny. Orange cat. He's right over here too by the door. He doesn't get embarrassed. And this is Danny's father. Because he found the cat, stole the cat from a neighbor by his grandparents' house and handed the cat to me and said, "Here, take it." So I did. That was Dr. Spec, by the way. And this is a car that my buddy bought for me new. It was a 2011 Crossbox, but mine was a Lamborghini yellow. They charged me extra for the paint color. This is a special color, and the yellow was a special color. And I drove it for 2 years and sold it. Yeah, 102 miles per hour on a 50 cc motorcycle. That's crazy. Looks like he has a tabby M on his forehead. You have an M on your forehead?
Yep.
Yeah, yes he does. My orange cat is a bit like that, more a sandy color than full ginger. Well, his name is Danny. His last name is Bonaducci, so you can figure that out. No, Stray Bullet. It is not all-wheel drive. It was only front-wheel drive. They made a little pickup truck like that with the word cross on it, kind of decked out, look like this. They have a T Cross, which is an SUV that they all look like they go off road, but they don't. None of them are all-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive. It was a good car, good little entry-level car, but I sold it for what I sold it for in 2013. People are asking the same amount now for them with 175,000 kilometers on it. So I sold it either real cheap or I don't know, but it was only 2 years old when I sold it. Right, right, right. And here's Gato Spec, this little pain in the butt here. Here he is, one that won't shut up. Are you looking at the pictures? You're going to be embarrassed at the next one, or the one after that. No, the next one you're going to be embarrassed. Joey, watch the picture. No, don't clean yourself. Look at the picture. You're going to be embarrassed. Ah! Yeah, he's looking. Yeah, I took that picture of you. Is that a pumped up polo? I don't think it's a polo. They went to all they made the front end look the same on all of them, so it's hard to tell what is what. It could be. I don't know. My tabby started out like an African sand cat, but she darkened up over the past few months. And they says the fur darkened up. How does fur darken up? This was a pretty popular color on the Beetles, the dark blue. A lot of companies bought these cars in this color. There's a lot of them around, or were a lot of them around, actually. And you can tell where it's from by the license plate in Mexico City, Distrito Federal. That's like the Washington D.C. in the U.S. That's where this car is from, the Federal District of Mexico. Got her when she was still a kitten. Okay, so she's changing into her adult fur. You waiting for this to be over so I'll open the door? I think all three of them are waiting for this to be over. Okay. I don't see anything moving. Epson's Honda is registered as black. Under good sunlight, it's actually a very dark metallic blue. Somebody messed up on that, Tavo. Maybe we got them all. She was a feral from Portales, New Mexico. She used to hiss and swing. Now she's a sweetie. All she needed to learn was that you were going to protect her. That's all she needed to know. Safety. Once the cat feels safe, they calm down. Food helps too. Maybe it has that fancy color changing paint. Who knows? I think if the internet holds out, we can watch a couple of shows tonight. There's really not much else to do. Are we going to take the trash out tonight? I don't know if they're going to come by. And the trash can's filling up with water out there. It's going to be really heavy. This is a pretty clean beetle. So I'm not sure how much they want for it. I do have people asking for the beetles, but nobody has closed the deal on it. You'd think with the delivery to Florida and everything that people would be jumping on it, but they're not. And Mary says, funny, she sleeps on a small kitchen rug that matches her color. I can barely see her. Well, change the rug out for her. So you can see. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
I can fall asleep if I want to.
You're supposed to be reading the comments.
No. I read the comments. You read comments now.
What was that? We didn't lose power though. On these Volkswagen vans, the wheels make all the difference. This one has some weird wheels and wheel covers on it. Don't know where they came from, but it gives it a certain look. Bible says, my latest cat acquisition, Basil, was a rescue. I got him at 5 months, 18 months ago. He's still sporadically skittish, very unpredictable. Is he learning from the other cats? Are they teaching him anything? Maybe says, isn't the color of the vehicle in the VIN? No. No, they do not put colors of vehicles in the VINs. They don't put anything in the VINs in Mexico. They started putting the year of the vehicle in the 80s, maybe the late 80s, but not the color, no. They never do that. Nobody's ever done that. Maybe on the data plate they do, but not in the actual VIN. Mine is on still on high alert all the time. Hope she mellows out sometime. Just make her feel safe. That's all. My cats, like Danny, he'll sit in the hallway and see me coming and just make me step over him. That's how confident he feels. Took lots of years to get there though. Albo says other cats are so chill, 14-7, so he's not learning that from them. Well, he's being that, what is he, not so old. He was only 5 months old, so he should be learning everything from them. 24/7. Okay. On this van, they went over the top with the plaid, the door panels, the floor, everything is plaid on this thing. They went too far on this one. Joey, walk on her back. Joey, come here. Walk on her back. She needs a massage. Joey, walk on her back. You're not listening. My last cat, I could step over while he was eating. Cats are predators and they're also prey. So they have to keep their wits about them. The two dogs that live in front of the house in front of us, they're fairly large, so they will go after anything that moves, including my cats. So the cats have to keep that in mind when they're out there. And the dogs seem to be outside every night. Abo says, I can only guess He encountered so many different people at the shelter. The other two I have from newborns. Yeah, and how they treated him or where he came from before he got there. We do have another cat. She stays outside. Even it's pouring rain, she's under one of the cars or she's under the carport or whatever, and that's where she likes to stay. But when she first got here, she was very little because somebody threw because she's a female. They threw her in the front of the house, knowing that we would take her in, and she wouldn't want to. I would like put my hand out. She'd smell it, but she wouldn't let me pet her. So I picked her up, put her on the couch, and I pet her. And I did that sometimes. So now she doesn't even run anymore because she knows it's useless. If I pick her up and if I want to pick her up and pet her, I do. But she's not like these cats. She doesn't come in here and spend any time with us. She's an outside cat. She does bring in a lot of lizards though.
Triple says, if you guys need any cats, let me know.
You have a lot.
You may say something like only 30% of cats ever go into
I think mine do when they're sleeping with me. Like in the winter time, Mrs. Spec has her room, and I'll sleep in the other room because there's no windows or anything, and the heat pretty much stays in there. But all three cats, even the little one, will come in there. There'll be one on one side of me, one on the other side of me, and one between my legs, and I'll stay nice and warm all night. Very nice, very nice. Or they'll come under the covers with me, so we can share the heat.
That was just my older two got into REM from watching them run and switch while sleeping. Can't even lift their heads without waking
Yeah, they're having their dreams.
up. Triple says, I'm running a special on cats for a limited time. Fernando says, raccoons, coyotes, bobcats, cougars can get our cats out there.
Yeah. If we move into another house, Mrs. Speck wants to build a catio so the cats can't go out and do what they want to do.
It says, horses and hogs as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of predators. I purposely picked this house because there's no traffic passing the house. It's like a little private driveway.
Cul-de-sac.
Well, a cul-de-sac is actually a street. This is not a street. This is a
Well, it is like a cul-de-sac.
yeah, it's well, not really. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's 8 houses in this private driveway here, and the cats are safe because there's no cross through driving. So anybody that comes in here drives slow, drives around, and then goes back out or whatever. But the cats are completely safe being out here, and I picked the house specifically for them. Pavo has a catio and a sunroom. Their climbing tower and toys. We bought the climbing tower. Nobody ever used it. Nobody wanted it.
Oh, yeah, I used it.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah, I used it.
Yeah, once you put it in here, and she was like in an enclosed area with it, but it was out there in the living room, and all the cats ignored it. Why would they want that when they have real trees outside? And it says, my last 2 cats were feral. They had no interest in going out. Doors could be wide open. They didn't care. One would go out sometimes, but any hint of the door closing, zoom back in the house. We actually, the dog has his own room, even though he's now sleeping in here. He has his own room, and the door's always open into his room. It's an actual bedroom, and then the back door is open. There's a screen door on it, but they can go in and out whenever they want to, so it's their choice. We don't block them from going out. We don't block them from coming in. They do whatever they want to when they want to. And Danny does not go out anymore. He'll go out in the front a little bit on our front porch and cat around a little bit at nighttime. But other than that, he's in the house. But he's much older now. He's much older. So he used to be in the trees and catching birds and all kinds of stuff, but he doesn't do that anymore. I have my own scratching post. Do you scratch scratch with your nails on it, Barracuda? Mrs. Spec and I went to a car show in Mazatlan, 4 hours from here, with the '74 Dart, and they had it in the parking lot of a mall. So when it got too hot, we went inside, went into the mall, and they had a pet store in there. So that's where we bought this scratching post that had two hide things that the cats can go in, and had a bunch of stuff on it. So I put that in the trunk of the car. We brought it back, and they had some rats there they were selling, but they were all hairless rats, and I need my rats to have hair. I will not have a hairless animal in the house. No, not gonna do that. Nope. Pablo says their sunroom is 4 by 2.5. The catio about 8.8 by 2.5 meters. That's a pretty big catio for them. Pretty big. Pretty big. But this cat right here, Gato Spec, is not a jumper. I had to park my '69 Chevy Impala wagon on the inside of our gate and the Durango's on the outside of the gate just so he could get back and forth because he does not jump. I have to back up the Durango almost to the wall so he can reach the truck, so he can, and then he can come down on the other side. But other than that, he can't. He can barely get up on a bed. He's not a jumper. He never has been, young or anything. He's like, if you saw him jump, you would take his cat card from him. Most cats can jump really well, but they go up on the house. They go up on the top, the roof of the carport. They do anything they want to. They're not missing out on anything. I just wish they would kill more birds. You're not really a hunter, are you? Because you need to jump to be a hunter, and you're not a jumper. Now, Gato Spec came in the house by himself because we used to have the front window open until the neighborhood cats learned that the front window was open and there's food inside the house. So he came in. He ended up staying. He is he came in with Danny. Danny brought him in. So then he started eating all the food. That's why we call him Joey Tribbiani, because he always came. Joey always came in and ate the food that what's her name made. So that's why his name is Joey. But but the first time he came in the house, he had a collar on. He did what he did, and then he went out of the house. The next time he came in, he had no collar on, and he stayed. So I'm like, when he went back to his house, did like take the collar off and say, "Hey, you go live over there. They have better food or something." I don't know, but we don't put collars on the cats because they do go outside. You could be up in a tree, the collar can get caught on a branch, and they choke themselves. It's not going to happen. Not going to do that. Both of you are falling asleep. Jeez. I think jumping onto the bed is a big deal. Danny has no trouble jumping, and the little one, she has no trouble jumping at all. She's small, she's thin, she's agile. She's an actual cat. Aren't you gonna eat something? You got a whole bunch of food cooking in the kitchen. Yes, you do. Nothing like when a cat chooses you. Yep. He came into the house, saw Mrs. Speck had some food in her hands. This was before we even knew who he was. He climbed up on the couch, came up behind her on the top of the couch, and wanted the food.
I wanted to post those pictures, but I don't know where they ended up.
I don't know. We keep changing phones and stuff. So he stayed. And of course, he got fixed and everything, just like all the rest of them. We don't have any animals in the house that can repopulate the world. That's that's just better for, especially when you have male cats around. He made the decision to leave the collar behind because he found a better home. But he doesn't have thumbs to take it off. Even Andrews, we have a feeder they have to jump up. Raccoons can't jump, so it keeps them from eating it, but birds do. Stellar jays, little punks. Right, you put a bird feeder out there, so it attracts the birds, so the cats have something to kill, right? That's the way it should be. MH was at a shelter one time, was looking around, and a cat stepped off a cat tree onto my shoulder. Hello. Yeah. The ones that are forward, that you know what kind of personality they have, that's great. We don't really have shelters and stuff like that here. There's just people try, but there's no there's no funding or anything like that here. Private donations don't last very long. So we don't really want any more animals in the house. There's a bunch of chickens outside. They're not mine. They're not ours. They come in from the other house over there. They lay their eggs in my yard. Their eggs hatch, and then there's little chicks out there for a while. Then they disappear, or I have to clean them up after a cat shreds them in the backyard. One of the reasons we have to get that trash out to the trash because it's in there. Even Andrews, they get many birds. Yes, good, good. That's what birds are for. And May says, I suppose it's a good thing, but I've noticed shelters are emptier these days. Hopefully, the program of fixing animals, helps. So there's not so many. But all of my animals, and I mean every one of them, have understand that when I start looking for fleas or whatever, they just have to lay there and take it. I have not found a flea in quite some time, probably because there's chickens out there now, and the chickens eat all that stuff before they have a chance to get onto the animals. But before, the cats would go outside, commingle with other cats, and they'd come in with fleas. So I would have to sit them down. They thought it was massages all over their body, but no, I'm looking for the bugs and taking the fleas off because my animals cannot have their own little pets. Not allowed. No fleas in the house. They haven't had fleas in a long time. Lots of dogs, but few cats. I was willing to adopt a dog, but they're all crossbred pits. Ugh. MH. Yeah. We don't go to shelters or anything. All animals come to us. When I was in my other house, all the street animals would come to my house, and some would stay in my pack and some would go back to their houses or whatever. I usually had 5 or 6 dogs. I was living in a one-room house, one bedroom, and then there was a kitchen and then a small bathroom. We all slept in the same bed together, all the dogs and me. And at, was it like, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock at night, I would open the door and they would all file out into the street and go running around, so happy to be out, bringing every trash bag from the neighborhood and shredding it in front of my house to find the goodies. And then I would have to clean up all that stuff every night. And then before they went back in the house, I would check each and every one of them for whatever ticks or fleas or whatever they had. And it was just what I did for years and years and years. And then some would die, and then others would join the pack. A lot of dog. That's why I was saying that if it's true that when we die and go to whatever this heaven is, if all of our animals are waiting for us there, they are going to crush me. There's so many of them. Dogs and cats didn't stay around that long though. Usually, they didn't. Even Joia, the picture you saw there, She was born in the house, and then she took off. She disappeared. And the neighbor down the street says, "Hey, your cat's here." She had a litter of kittens, and so when we had moved over here to a new house, we went back and picked her up and the kittens, and we got found places for the kittens, and then we just kept her in the house, had her fixed, and kept her in the house. 16 years though, it's pretty good run for a cat. I don't know how old these guys are because they were not born in my house. Danny was stolen, and this one was brought in by Danny. So Stephen Andrews is leaving. I think we're all leaving Stephen Andrews. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
We're back to the Toronado, so that means we're back to the first pictures. We have to still have things to do tonight. We'll see how bad it's flooded in front. So
thank you for joining us. Thank you to our mod, Overbuilt. Thank you for our members for joining us. And thank you for you guys for as well for joining us on our live, even though we were a little bit late. And we
Mother Nature really does not like us. I'm telling you right now, it was her fault.
And we will see you on next Saturday, hopefully.
Yes, we will.